Coming up on the show, NVIDIA cancels their more affordable graphics card in favor of their more expensive one. Warner Brothers Discovery continues to make undesirable changes as part of their restructuring, and our anime picks of the week. This and more coming up.
It's time for the GZ Chop Shop Podcast. Each week, hosts Project Itachi and War Nurse bring you the latest in the gaming and tech industry, from the hottest releases to the juiciest scoops, while breaking down all the things you wish you knew. Now kick back, relax, and prepare to have your mind blown. The GZ Chop Shop starts right now.
What is up, everybody? Project Itachi here, joined by my good friend and co-host War Nurse. Welcome back to the GZ Chop Shop Podcast. Now, before we get into the episode, I am sure a lot of you are wondering where we went for the last couple of weeks. And the best way I can put it is I was dealing with some family related issues. So it was in the best interest to take some time off away from streaming and content creation for a while, and just take some time to be with family, talk with family as we were working through some things. So it was a pretty rough couple of weeks, but I had the support of my crew, my friends and family. So we're back. And as always, we have an amazing episode lined up for you guys. And if you're watching this on YouTube,
your shirt is appropriate for that message that you're back.
Yeah. For anyone who's wondering, if you can't see, if you're watching on YouTube, we have the Respawn, Reload, and Revenge. And it was kind of funny because I had actually made this. I want to say like at the beginning of September, and I didn't know it was actually going to apply to me. But yeah, if you guys are curious about some of the new merchandise we have, here we go. Respawn, Reload, Revenge.
This shirt that I'm wearing, it's not one of ours, but I get a lot of feedback from people in public. It's if you can't see it, you guys just listen to this on Spotify or wherever. It's the grabber from Aliens that come out of the eggs that attach to your face, and it just says free mask above it. And I wear it because it's one of my favorite shirts, and I just love it's funny to me, and I love the Aliens franchise, of course. But in public, I get very mixed feedback, and it's almost always political. And people bring it up. I'm like, it's not a political shirt. Like, I can see where people are coming from, but I've had people get upset with me. Like, what's that supposed to mean? I'm like, it's just a nerdy shirt. What are you angry about?
That's just, playing on the, like, obviously they don't know.
And then I wish I had one I could throw at people. Like, fuck, shut up.
Yeah, some people really do need face huggers. But yeah, so a lot of stuff has happened in the last few weeks, and we're not able to cover everything. But if you guys do want to be caught up on the news on a lot of stuff that we might not be able to talk about in the show due to time constraints, join our Discord server. You'll be able to find that in the description of the podcast. We have news forums for gaming, science, technology, all the stuff we would love to talk about that we don't get to cover in the show because there's always so much happening. We do talk about it with you guys in the forum. So join our Discord, check out our new forum channels. I promise you will not regret it, especially if there's stuff that you would like to talk about. You can go in and create a forum and get everybody in the server talking. It's a really, really friendly server, and we're always active in it. So make sure to go do that. But what we picked this week is two very interesting topics, and the first one is going to be about NVIDIA and the balls on them, and probably why they've been losing their mind ever since EVGA left them, and I'm starting to see why. They have opted to do away, before it's even released, the cheaper version of their 4080 graphics card. They were originally going to release a 12 gigabyte version that was they put it substantially slower, but unless you are a true PC head, most people would not have noticed a difference, I think, between the 12 and the 16.
You know, Itachi, NVIDIA, this has been bothering me for a while. NVIDIA has gone about everything all wrong regarding their sales and promoting, their main promoting being that of the GPUs, because it was a matter of time before graphic cards became available again and they didn't become as pricey and as hard to get. And they have pushed it so hard and so fast that we're already at a 40 series that's dropping when the 20 series do well enough on their own with the right hardware. If they had started off a couple of years ago, instead of promoting just their 30 series and pushing that on streamers to help them further promote the GPUs, had they focused on CPUs and hard drives and RAM in addition to those things, their sales would be better right now. It wouldn't be just focused on GPUs and who has the best GPUs. And now with EVGA leaving them, they're paying the price.
Yeah. 100%. And graphics cards were already beefy in price tag. I mean, before I actually started gaming with you on PC, one of the things that kept me from going full PC, I was like, well, for the graphics card price, I can get my next favorite console for almost the exact same amount. And then the consoles kind of were like, I guess it was like I got a whole new piece of hardware and everything up to date. Granted, that's it. Once it's in my house, that's it. There's no update in it, unlike a PC where I can keep my case, motherboard, and update the parts individually. But now it seems like the graphics cards are trying. Well, NVIDIA is trying their darndest to, I guess, be the most expensive thing in gaming,
dude.
Hardware.
They had they done things correctly from the beginning. Had they marketed their hardware and all their different PC parts correctly, they wouldn't be in this position right now. They should have focused on, like I said before, the CPUs and the hardware, but being able to make good PC rigs that are affordable and powerful to be able to promote those and sell those, not just one piece. And now that's their whole brand is GPUs.
Yeah.
That's all they know them for.
And they're definitely paying the price for it, to the point that they're forcing the price on us. You know, one of their partners leaves them, and with COVID, and we had the GPU crisis around the same time as COVID, and there was that shortage of GPUs. Nobody was really willing to shell out the money for the 30 series. And like you and I have talked about many times, the 20 series worked just fine. And, you know, to even get your hands on those decent graphic cards, you had to go find pre-built PCs and hope that they were running something above an i3, because once again, it's really about the CPU. But now NVIDIA is seeing that, and maybe this proves something that I said wrong, because I was like, nobody's going to buy secondhand GPUs from those crypto miners. Those things have been running 24/7 nonstop for years now. Those things are nearly worn down.
You should absolutely never buy a hand-me-down. Like maybe if it's from like your buddy or something.
Yeah.
But when it comes to PC parts, like the last used PC part I would buy would be a graphics card.
A graphics card. Now, maybe there's a lot of people out there that don't know that, and they're so eager to be able to update their stuff, you know, because 3080s, the crypto miners were grabbing those. They were grabbing everything. So NVIDIA probably took a financial hit. Either their 3080s didn't sell as well as they wanted, or now they're not selling anything, because it seems like nobody cares about the 40 series, and that bothers them. And just to let everyone know what the price tag is, because I know probably like, well, how much is it going to cost? We're talking almost $2,000 for the graphics card. It's like it's $1,600, because they did away with the one, which was still pricey, but still cheaper, which I think was going to be like $800. for their 12 gigabyte one. I think it was like $800. And they completely said, yeah, no, we're going to just take that off the market. Like, that's not even going to see the shelf. All you've got is our 16 gigabyte 4080. Take it or leave it. And I think they're punishing people who update every few years instead of like every year.
Which for most people, for most consumers, that's the equivalent. Buying the newest, best graphics card every couple of years is the equivalent of buying a brand new console every couple of years. It's too expensive. You can't do that. And now some people do, but guess what? Those people that do, they're sponsored.
They're
famous. They're streamers. They're content creators that work nonstop, and they can not only afford it, but they're either having those parts bought for them, or they're being paid well enough where it doesn't matter. And then they can go off and promote those things. And, I have a feeling that we're going to start seeing AMD and the Radeon graphic cards that they have take off. People, they're going to push their own audience, their own market off to their competition, because their graphics card are equivalent. The problem is compatibility. A lot of those parts you do kind of have to mix and match a little bit, and that's the kind of stuff people don't. It gets a little more harder to understand when you have to mix and match, when NVIDIA and Intel always go together.
Yeah. So.
They don't market as hard. They don't market in your faces as hard, but their parts are just as good.
It really sucks to see NVIDIA go down this road. Because if they're struggling that much where they're willing to put that expense off on the customer, this is a huge gamble, because they're banking on the fact that we're going to stick around and just be like, okay, cool, we'll shell out $1,600. I've never even shelled out $1,000 on a console.
With the economy being as unpredictable as it is right now, and people are so unsure about where we're heading, on not just the national, the American economy, but the worldwide economy. It's like you said earlier, they got some balls on them, dude, to make a 40 series and then push it like they have been, and then backpedal their more affordable version, which, by the way, what was it? Was it a 12 gigabyte versus a 16 gigabyte?
Yeah, just 12 gigabyte versus 16.
So for anybody who doesn't understand what that means, I'm not going to get into like insane detail on this, but when you're talking about a graphics card and they have different versions of said graphics card, okay? And you're talking about a 4 gigabyte difference on a 10 series, like if you have a 1060 or 1070, that 4 gigabytes would matter. That's a huge difference. When you get up into the 2070s and then the 30s, and now the 40s, a 4 gigabyte means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. You will not see a difference on anything. That's how powerful these GPUs are alone, outside having a powerful CPU and hard drive to go with it.
Yeah.
They should have kept the cheaper one, to be honest.
They should have kept the cheaper one, if anything. They should have kept the cheaper one.
Or priced it correctly, because they're uppriced. And don't sit there and you're not going to sit there and tell me that 4 gigabytes is the difference between $300 or $400 extra dollars. Get out of here, NVIDIA. The gaming industry has gotten so greedy over the past 2 to 3 years. It is mind blowing. And what used to be, we would get pieces of news like every few weeks and about the gaming industry. It's almost every day now. And almost all the pieces of news that we're getting, whether it's NVIDIA or it's Blizzard or whoever it is, tech or gaming, the gaming industry as a whole is getting greedy, and all the pieces of news that comes out almost every day is almost some greedy bullshit, or Call of Duty trying to say you have to have a valid phone number now, or whatever the case is. Like, it's just every day the balls on these companies now.
That could be an entire episode in itself, just talking about the change of the gaming industry in general. And to sidetrack here, it was there was a post that you had sent me of a streamer talking about, how guys since like back in the day don't have social skills because they were gaming, and it's basically not a welcoming place for females, not because guys are better gamers, but because we lack social skills and we lose our minds when women come on microphones.
No, it's not a welcoming place for women, because as a man, I will absolutely admit that there are a lot of just shitty guys that are on the internet that will be shitty to you, even if you're a female, and they'll be toxic. That if they were talking about that, I could understand. But social skills, if anything, it's helped my social skills, my ability to communicate.
Definitely helped me about my social skills. But one of the things I had to comment on was when she was talking about how it was marketed, and it was marketed to the boys because they didn't believe girls would like it, and that was false, and it was marketed to the boys, so it became like kind of this boys club thing, and then the guys get mad because those girls won't sleep with them and XYZ. And I had to think about it, and I said, okay, as a person in this age group that helped make gaming popular, I can say for a fact it's because back then girls were not into gaming. They literally were not. I know this because I was of that group that girls would tease boys who played video games because they didn't understand it. So when she was talking about and isolation and lack of social skills, I'm like, yeah, the girls contributed to that. Said the girls you're talking about that were into gaming had brothers. You go on to social media and you find any female retro gamer, over half of them will say that their male cousin or brother got them into it.
Or their dad.
Or their dad. But there was a male influence that got them into gaming.
With that said, I'm probably going to catch some heat from this, but I really don't care. I think initially it was marketed more towards guys because we are more competitive by nature.
Yeah.
We don't like to lose. We like to win. We're goal driven. All these things that's not to say that women aren't competitive, but it's a different thing.
It's a different type of competitive.
It's a different type of competitiveness, and it can definitely get ugly, as you can see on the online communities. That Call of Duty is a great example on ugly competitiveness. It can get toxic real quick, but there is a level of competitiveness that gets marketed, like games get marketed to men on like based off that. And that's what draws guys in, because we like to win. We like to be number one and compete.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. That's why I had said on there, I said, it's been this way, honestly, since the arcade days. There's a reason there were 2-player machines. Fighting games were so prevalent, so popular back then because of that competitive edge. Guys could spend an entire day in arcade. And we used to always get criticized because it took us out of reality. That's the whole point. That was literally the whole point.
It's the same thing TV does. TV takes you out of reality. Netflix takes you out of reality. Listening to music for a couple hours and takes you. It doesn't matter what you're doing to take your mind off reality.
Yeah. Just because you watch a reality show, I know that I'm going to catch you. Just because you watch a reality show does not make that your reality. That is someone else's reality, scripted reality, for your entertainment to pull you out of your reality. Just want to clarify. Anything you do that sits you in front of a screen is taking you out of your reality. But yeah, all that coming back to just say, NVIDIA, you got some balls on you. I don't like that. You totally messed up. But moving on from NVIDIA, the real meat and potato conversation here that has been like, in terms of the entertainment news, they've just been fucking up. Warner Brothers Discovery.
Oh, we are talking about that. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So have you noticed, by the way, their hard push on marketing for HBO Max at 40 to 60% off. I see it everywhere. I'm not even looking for it. I'll just be on social media, whatever. My TVs, I have a smart TV that gives me a little advertisement pop up sometimes. I see it constantly. HBO Max. If you go look at the comments, people aren't stupid. They know
because I cancel, and it's not. And let me just.
I know a lot of people that have canceled their HBO Max since finding this out.
I canceled mine because of this Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, if you're easily triggered, this is your warning. Because we got to get into the demographics.
No, screw this. Lay it out. I'm over it. Lay it out.
I don't know if people know this. And it was actually huge thanks to Byrne, because Byrne was the one who brought it to my attention. I didn't know. I always knew that there was this kind of thing, but I didn't know that they were just so blatant with it in their meetings. He came to me and he was like, hey, do you know about the demographic charts and systems for, HBO and Discovery? And I was like, no, like I figure they just do like ethnicity and maybe gender and everything. He was like, oh, you're going to love this. And he sent it to me, and it's literally, and it was candid right from them. It was just straight candid. HBO catered to males, basically nerds, because we had our comic book movies, and
they had their DC shows and stuff that we're hoping they don't cancel.
Exactly. So HBO was catered to the male demographic. That was our thing. That's probably why we had such a draw to HBO Max.
It really did. I didn't really think of it that way, but when you mention it, like if I visualize HBO Max's menu and a lot of the stuff that you can find, most of it was very. It really seemed like it was trying to get my attention, and it had my attention.
Exactly.
I'm a huge fan of the Doom Patrol. For a lot of people that don't know, I love Doom Patrol.
And Discovery Plus, if you take what you now know about HBO Max, where do you think Discovery Plus's focus is?
On the female?
On the females. Reality shows, female focused, all the shows that appeal to them. Drama TV. So
there's a lot of crime stuff on there too.
There's a lot of crime stuff because the female demographics are so infatuated. The way, okay, ladies, I hate to call you. Actually, no, I don't hate to call you out. This needs to be addressed. You are about your crime drama shows the way we are about video games.
That's true.
You guys have a serious infatuation with crime drama. And the minute you're about to go, no, I don't, really think about what you watch.
No wonder y'all think we're going to stab you in the woods when you're going on your midday jog. Like, goddamn, as much violent crime stuff as you watch, it's getting shoved in your face. No wonder you think we're all dangerous.
That's why they go tell each other. And then like the ladies will go and they'll be like, yes, I saw so-and-so do so. And then their friend will be like, oh, girl, I saw this on Dahmer and he's a killer. Just immediately. It's like they're the WebMD for murder.
So WB's, they're going to merge Discovery Plus and they're going to with HBO Max, but they have only fired and let go and massively laid off a large amount of their animators, directors, canceled shows on the HBO side.
Yeah.
So, and the Cartoon Network has really pissed off people, like really upset, mainly our generation that grew up with Cartoon Network.
Mm-hmm. Because they're letting go so many of the animators. There's 43 vacant positions that they've already said they're not going to fill back in.
WB and HBO and Cartoon Network would not be where they are now with all those people they fucking laid off.
Because they don't want...
That were with them for decades. Some of them, like so many of them were with them for decades.
Yeah, but they don't want to cater to... Our demographic is basically being removed. I don't understand why. I don't know why. But it's basically being absorbed to become a bigger version of Discovery. They want to load on the reality shows. They want to load on the... true crimes.
I wonder how they're going to step their game up, because I've used the Discovery app a couple of times. Just their free like month long or whatever that most streaming services have. It hasn't been recently. I think the last time I used it was like 6 months ago. There was like a couple movies that were only on there, but their layout was awful. It was buggy. The selection sucked. It was not good. It wasn't appealing to me. It wasn't visually appealing to me. The way HBO Max, the first thing as a consumer that caught my attention with HBO Max is when the app first opened on my TV, it was sleek. It was so clean. It was not buggy. And everything that I wanted to find was easy to find.
Yeah, I don't even deal with Discovery Plus because obviously it was a demographic that wasn't aimed at me. So it didn't even hit my radar. Like, you know how like at a glance you can see what the shows are, like when you highlight over the app. I was like, none of those shows, I didn't even know any of those shows. And I was just like, okay, this doesn't appeal to me. But I knew right away with HBO Max, I was like, oh yeah, this is right up my alley. Because I was watching classics. I was watching Codenames Kids Next Door, Ed, Edd n Eddy, when the Batman was able to hit HBO Max, Mortal Kombat. I was loving it. I was getting to watch classic sci-fi shows on there too that you literally cannot find anywhere else anymore. So with, Warner Brothers Discovery now, and just to let people know, HBO Max is not going to be a thing like next year. HBO Max will be gone.
I think it's this coming summer, I believe. Yeah,
HBO Max is getting dissolved. So what is happening?
They're trying to still reel people in with 40% off. They're still trying to reel
people in. Well, you know why, right?
Well, they want people to watch House of Dragon, which I admit, like, I didn't think I'd like it, but House of Dragon is decent. It's decent. It's not Game of Thrones. I don't know how big of a fan you are.
I'm a fan.
But I had read the books prior to like the show, and then the show came out, and I was like, oh, wow, they did a pretty good job with this, except for the last season. And then House of Dragon surprised me. It was good. Not to get off track, but a lot of people complain about the first season so far and how slow it is. But I don't think people remember how fucking horribly slow season 1 of Game of Thrones was. Like, if you can get through season 1 of Game of Thrones, the rest of it's pretty entertaining. But
if they went back and watched the first season of Game of Thrones, they would notice it. We were still a little bit more patient back then.
Yeah. Oh, we were, because it was 2011, I think, when the first season came out. But that's the only thing that HBO is going to have going for them when they do merge with Discovery, assuming, they're going to take their probably their biggest viewed show, House of Dragons and Game of Thrones. I imagine they'll take it with them to Discovery Plus. But I mean, other than that, you don't really have with so many, especially so many Cartoon Network shows taken off and that are going to be taken off. A couple of my shows were canceled that I really enjoyed. A couple sci-fi shows that I really enjoyed were canceled because of the merger, and a lot more planned. Teen Titans is in the air right now. There hasn't been anything about a season 4 about that, or Doom Patrol, because of the merger. They're thinking that they're going to get canceled. So you're either going to cancel or not continue a lot of these shows, move it to Discovery Plus, probably only have Game of Thrones and House of Dragon transferred over. And then who do you think you're going to keep? You think you're going to keep me around at, $12, $15 a month ad free to watch one show periodically? Because that's not going to happen. And a lot of people that have already stopped their membership, it's because they're not into that stuff. And the people that do still have it are only keeping it to finish off the series. And dude, I'm telling you, watch the numbers as soon as episode 10 drops for House of Dragon, which is this coming Sunday, by the way. Once that's over, give it a week or two. By the end of November, I guarantee you at least half of the subscriptions are going to be canceled because of this merger, because they have nothing else to offer anymore.
I wanted to watch House of Dragons, but I said, I'm not paying you for your inevitable demise. Because I said, I don't approve of what's happening here. Your quote unquote restructure, whatever debt you owe Discovery, letting Discovery come in and just completely change a formula that was already working. I'm not giving you my money for that.
Because this is what's going to happen. people are going to, like I said, a lot of people are going to cancel their subscriptions. This summer, there's going to be the big merger. It's not going to look as awesome and be as appealing or have even half the content that HBO Max is. They're going to go into this with so many animators and creators laid off and removed, and they're not going to come back because a lot of them are pissed. Like they're not hiding how upset they are because they weren't given a warning, first of all. Mm-hmm. And WB is going to lose a lot of money to the point where it's going to hurt their ability for production of shows like House of Dragon. Don't think it won't, because every one of our subscriptions matters. They're a juggernaut because we're all paying them to give us a service. And if that service is not meeting the expectations that have been met so far, people are going to quit. They're going to backpedal several months after that and start adding shows back, maybe even bringing back shows that they had initially canceled. They're going to backpedal to try to fix it because they're going to find out that they cannot try to cater to one demographic or another, or one type of audience or another, and still keep the same amount of money. They're going to lose a lot of money, and they already have. It's already been an issue.
Well, they were sued last month because they did not properly report how many subscribers they had on HBO Max. They actually lied. They said they had 10 million.
How many do they have?
Less than 10 million. I don't know the exact number, but they were sued because the investors found out that they lied about the actual subscriber numbers. And I was about to say, well, I don't know how they had, because I haven't been subscribed since the news broke, like 3-4 months ago that this was all happening. Like that same week that I found out this was happening, I said, nope, I'm out. Count me out. I'm not going to hang in there.
Oh, Itachi is no simp. He is no pushover. When something, he's the nope. No second chances.
No second chances.
Me, I'm like, I'll finish House of Dragon, but that's all you got.
I left because I didn't want to get into House of Dragon. That's a man of principle right there.
You got to respect that.
I said, no, I'm out. You're not taking my money because you are not giving me the product that I want, that I'm paying you for. And I don't want you to just absorb me into this new whatever thing and just be like, all right, this is the new thing, roll with it, and we'll keep taking your money. This is not what I paid you for. I paid you for HBO Max because you had product on your platform that I wanted access to. You have now removed said product from your platform, so I shall remove my finances.
Dude, they canceled House of Wolves, which I didn't know was that popular. I had one because it was a weird ass sci-fi show. I don't know if you had ever watched it, but it was by Ridley Scott.
Yep, I watched the first season.
He's a master at what he does, and I was really into this weird ass show because I can't even describe, if you haven't seen it, how bizarre the show was, but it was good. It was interesting, a little slow sometimes, but it was different, and I loved it. And they canceled it because of the merger on a cliffhanger. And like, what? I was invested in this show, and you canceled it over this dumbass merger.
The merger. Can we take a moment and talk about how today it is so much harder to get into a show, especially a streaming service show, because you do not know when they'll just wake up and say, cancel.
Yeah, dude, I remember when they did this, NBC canceled. I don't know if you ever watched the show Revolution.
I remember the name.
It was on Netflix for a couple years. I really liked it for a NBC or for a public TV show. It was actually pretty decent. And people were so pissed that they canceled that show that the creators finished it off with a comic book series, which I thought was really cool. I think it's by Dark Horse Comics. I could be mistaken, but that sounds right. Considering the show, it sounds right. But they had a whole comic book thing, and that was really popular. And the reason they got canceled is because they got bumped by 1 hour. And that 1 hour bump back that the airtime was for the second season just tanked their viewership, because nobody was, people were going to go to sleep. Like, they weren't staying up to watch the show. And so it wasn't about the show. It was about, so time and time again, whether it's for that or in this case, streaming services and mergers, shows that are good, that have a lot of potential, get canceled because of poor decisions. And those poor decisions by these executives and by these companies cause them to lose out on money, and they make it our problem.
You know what I would love to see get canceled, and I don't understand why they don't get canceled, and I can't help but think that this is by design. And I could go into a whole conspiracy theory about it, and it actually pisses me off. How come the murder documentaries and shows like, and I'm not saying that they're bad, but I mean, in my opinion, I feel like it's glorifying them. Shows like Dahmer. That would never get canceled.
I think those shows are interesting. Like a documentary about anything crime related is interesting, but they're all done over again and over again and over again with just different actors, but the same story, and people get sucked into it and they're like, oh my God. And like every 4 or 5 years, you see the same serial killer documentaries just get remade and with different actors in a slightly different way, but it's the same.
There's two shows on like Netflix of just about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Like as a content creator, if we did that, if we put out the same bullshit, people would stop watching.
Yeah, unless you created a trend and it's your original, recipe.
So I don't understand it.
But yeah, like all the shows that are like, I want to say like out there, let you separate from reality, doesn't have a tie into real events. It's like the minute those start taking off, the stations are like, ooh, yeah, let's bump this to a time we know no one's watching it. Let's just randomly cancel this and say it didn't get enough views. And then you see everyone later online like, I watched it. And it's like, okay, there's thousands of people. What ridiculous expectation did you put on this show that you just wanted to make a quick buck off of it and then cancel it? Or did it outshine your reality TV? Because I cannot stand reality television. I hate it. And it seems like now if I wanted to watch people be dramatic and bitch and complain and gossip, I'd go to work. I'd pick up extra shifts. Exactly.
I've never worked in any place, any work environment. I've been to several drastically different work environments that didn't have a large amount of people gossiping, complaining, whining, bitching about their spouse, arguing.
That's my reality TV free of charge.
Yeah. Like if I wanted that, I'd pick up extra shifts at work and go and be like, what's going on with you? And give a shit about your life.
Grab a cup of coffee. What? You spent $2, get all the drama you want in a day.
Yep.
At this rate, I seriously thought about it. I said, if this keeps happening, like all my favorites keep getting canceled for bullshit reasons, I guess I'm going to be an anime watcher 24/7.
I really am. Like I have my shows and stuff. But when it comes to watching TV, it's mostly whatever new anime's out.
Yep. I'm like, that's where my money will go. I'll support High Dive, Crunchyroll, and any new ones that'll pop up. Any ones that are out there. I said, I can watch anime.
And God.
Disney Plus is smart. Disney Plus is smart because they knew that to keep everyone happy, throw some anime on there, and then they drop Bleach.
Yep. But here's the thing that we got that I'm happy about is one, they have the rights to stream Bleach. That's what they got. They don't get to mess with it.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that the American industry
influence
I don't give a fuck about the influence, because we can bitch and complain about all we want about anime or an anime character or the boobs are too big or whatever dumb shit people bitch about today. The fact is it comes from Japan and there's not a single thing any of us can do about it. And if they cared, they would have started catering to us years ago.
Yeah.
So when you get those censored versions, that's just the American side that got the rights doing the censoring for the most part.
I would say
thank God the American industry does not get
have total influence.
Start animes and then cancel them and then, whatever and mess them up.
I would say there has been some influential changes. it was a highlight in like, I want to say like 2 years ago when some animes came back with second seasons, and a lot of the guys were like, wait a minute, like we know how certain characters were drawn. And that was like the draw. And then they come back and they're a little bit stick figurey. And I said, I didn't say anything, but Boruto definitely did that. I said, Hinata and Tsunade took a hit. and I said, I wondered to myself, why? Why did they take a hit? And I think it is because
it makes it on,
go in the threads. It
makes it on public TV. That's why it makes it on American public TV, whether it's Adult Swim or just, some other regular channel. It makes it to American public TV versus just Crunchyroll and High Dive. That's the difference.
But Naruto made it to public TV
at a different time.
That's what I'm getting to. It was at a time where the male audience was still the dominant audience in anime. And now the female audience has grown, and those who are like closet anime watchers are a little bit more outspoken. And I just want to say, and once again, probably going to piss people off, but this is a double standard that's been pissing me off. And I've watched it start happening in anime, and it's really been bothering me. If you're going to change the female illustrations because those are unrealistic and too much fan service, then all the guys need to be stick figures, including in the female shoujos, because the ladies keep saying like, oh, why they watch our anime. And
they complain about shonens, but shonens are specifically for guys. It translates in English to that anime for guys. That's why shoujos are same thing, but the target audience is women. It's the same type of anime, but it's for women.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, then all of those guys in those shoujos with those pecs and six packs and super shiny hair and all that. No, that's unrealistic expectations. Their body types need to be dad bod. Super flat chest.
I want to see some dads that are struggling with sleep deprivation and deprivation and can't get to the gym as much as they want.
Yep.
I want to hear the guy, if only I was as powerful as I was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Alas, I'm just a father. A father trying to protect my children. My power has grown weak in my old age.
Yeah, I want to see the real world. I want to see the real world men out there.
Chugs an energy drink.
So
stand behind me, family. I have Red Bull on my side.
I got Red Bull. But no, honestly, every time I see a change or I get on the threads and I see them start complaining about the fan service, I just want to say, shut up. Look at the genre you're in. How upset would you be if I went into the shoujo category and started talking about your 6 foot tall, blue haired, 6-pack guy being unrealistic? And this is too much fan, because it's the same kind of fan service. It's exactly the same. You can't act like you don't get fan service in your genre of anime. It's there.
You know, what's funny is like our generation growing up, like we'd watch these animes and these characters and they would inspire us. As kids, we wanted to be these characters. We wanted to be Goku. We wanted to, be Sasuke or Naruto or Ichigo or whoever, it is that you enjoyed. You wanted to be these people and you were inspired. But it's like the newer generation anime watchers are just like, they just watch an anime and then they just feel bad about themselves.
Yeah. And then they want to get the character changed because the character doesn't look like them. And I'm like, okay, get over it. We've all known this for years. Like, they're never going to look like you. They're never going to look like us. It's a fantasy world. Enjoy the story. Enjoy the fan service. Enjoy your escape from reality. Stop getting in your feelings, getting butthurt, and then trying to ruin it for everyone else under the false pretense that you're an ally of justice and you're woke. Which, would it be wrong of me to just start carrying a broomstick around, and if I ever see anyone who goes, I'm woke, I just smack them with the broomstick?
I hate everybody. I hate
Ladies
everybody.
and gentlemen, GZ Chop Shop Podcast, full circle. We hate everybody.
NVIDIA, I hate you. I hate Warner Brothers right now. And I'm leaving AT&T because you own AT&T. Canceling my HBO subscription. I fucking hate all of them. And leave my anime alone, damn it. That's all I have.
Leave my anime alone. At least leave my anime alone. Like, I'm trying not to start a war, but if you start fucking with my anime, I'm gonna have to get involved.
World War III. They say World War III will be the end of us, and then World War IV will be fought over sticks and stones. But I'm starting to think World War III is going to be started over anime, bro.
World War III would be started over
Thousand-Year Blood
anime.
War is going to be
For real.
anime.
The 1,000-Year Blood War will become real. Oh my goodness. So since we already started talking about anime, I want to talk about my anime pick of the week.
I think it's our anime pick of the week. I think
I actually have two.
I don't have one. I didn't really think about one for the show, but I think it's a great anime pick of the week.
Chainsaw Man.
Bro, they delivered.
Chainsaw Man is delivering.
They deliver. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about if something upsets you.
I just want to say, to tie in to what I was just saying, if you are easily offended by fan service, and it's not even serious fan service, this man literally has a life goal that when you watch the episode, listen to it, don't get in your feelings. This man just wants to let this man.
He just wants to be noticed.
He wants to just be
literally
noticed.
It's about a man or a young man who wants to be noticed.
Yes.
And
this man lived a hard life.
Be nice to him and care about him, that he even exists.
Yep.
And he just gets shit on the first episode in the most agonizing, brutal way. Like, even, dude, my mouth was just, and I'm trying not to give spoilers here, but then again, if you're listening to the show, you're probably going to get some, so maybe just stop listening. Here's the point, stop listening. But when they murdered that man, and he was, the way the voice actor, and it's only in sub right now if you guys prefer dub, but the way the Japanese voice actor portrayed his pain and agony was just amazing. Like, it made my stomach churn a little bit watching him get murdered and scream like that. I was like, oh that, Jesus,
that actor
like, God,
got therapy
damn.
After, because voice actors, they're so underrated. They have to get in character. This man had to portray pain,
dude. And the fact that the episode 2 was kind of the opposite. It was absolutely hilarious. It was so damn funny to me. And the man was carrying on like he did not just get brutally murdered by like 40 zombies. Like, it wasn't no PTSD, no even reminiscing thoughts about the situation he was in or the events that unfolded. He was just in the back of that car going, didn't ask questions. All he knew was that he woke back up and was alive, and some person offered him food, actual food, and was being nice to him. And he was like, okay, sure. Fuck it. Like, and this man's how fucked does your life have to be to have some stuff like that happen to you? And you are just like, oh, thank God I'm going to eat at least.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I was going to say about, like, if you're easily offended, this man has a new life goal. And I'm for it because of the life he had. This man just wants to touch a pair of boobs at least once in his life.
He just wants a girlfriend. That's all he wants.
That's all he wants. So, but it is such a good, it started off strong. I felt that it wasn't overhyped. And it definitely delivered on the first episode. And I like that. I feel it's going to be an unpredictable roller coaster.
It already is. I mean, the first 2 episodes are polar opposites in terms of the atmosphere that you're presented with.
Mm-hmm. So definitely go check it out. Chainsaw Man. It's brand new, so you're not already far behind. It's only 2 episodes in. So
Mappa, I believe, is the artist behind it. I saw some complaints about the CGI, but I mean, the fact is, people, and I think people don't understand this. We just got out of a time where artists used to spend years making the next season because it took years for these animators to draw these scenes and these episodes as well as they did. Now with CGI, they can give us that anime that we want faster. We want that next season. But the CGI helps them do that way faster. And that's why I'm okay with the CGI. Is the CGI great? Not always.
Not
in a lot of these animes.
Yeah.
But I understand it because we're hounding these animators. We're like, where's the next season? It's been 6 months. When we used to wait years sometimes.
Yeah.
For another episode. And they, these animators don't make as much as you think. They work very long hours. So CGI really just helps them bring this stuff to life faster for us. And I don't think the CGI is really bad. It's just noticeable. It's not that it's bad. It's just noticeable that it's there compared to the artwork that's there.
Yeah.
Like the hand
transitions, especially in fight scenes.
But there was a time when, maybe 10 or so years ago, when we get a movie of an anime and there'd be CGI in it and we thought it looked dope. We're like, oh, like it felt like a movie. You're like, oh, this is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that thought has changed with how we perceive it. So we can't have it both ways. We can't have no CGI and have an anime new season within, a year. It doesn't work that way.
And you got to think about team size too. I mean, not all of these animes have
Mappa is not
30,000 people working
think.
on it.
Like Mappa is one of the most renowned Japanese anime studios, but these studios a lot of them have less than a couple hundred people working on different stuff for that anime. They don't have as many people as they think.
And so if you guys have this anime itch and you really need it scratching, you're like, oh my gosh, I need a new season. There's plenty of streaming services out there with a ton of anime. Sometimes just scroll, land on one and click it, and you might find some gems you didn't think about. Like, that's how I find some ones I like. One I'm watching right now on High Dive, it's actually my other pick, The Eminence of Shadow. It was so interesting to me from the first 2 episodes that I had to start reading the manga, which, fun fact, guys, that's the whole purpose of the anime, is to get you to read the manga. That's how it works. That's why you have these gaps in between. So for the only anime watchers, that's why you suffer so much. The anime is the marketing. But The Eminence of Shadow is hilarious because I like my isekai. Right now, the anime world is on isekai kick. I'm on an isekai kick. It might be in one of my top 5 right now because I see it as, holy shit, this is exactly how I would be in an isekai if I'm being 100% realistic with myself. This guy literally just all his life wanted to be a hero. He literally never grew out of it, but he literally did training, like physically trained, took different martial arts, and lived his life with the goal of becoming a hero. The man actually was a good fighter. And then he gets hit by a truck, dies. Now he's sent to a different world.
Can't fight a truck, man.
Can't fight a truck. Gets hit by a truck, dies. Freak accident.
It just reminds me of that episode of Rick and Morty. It's man versus car. And it's the car. And another win for the car.
And another win for the car. But he gets sent to this world where he literally gets to live out becoming a hero. And of course, in isekai fashion, he's OP, but that's what makes it funny is he starts a cult based off of the lore of that world. And he did it as a joke to kind of like justify being the hero because it's like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, I am stopping the cult of Diablos. Except the cult of Diabolus was bullshit. And he saves this chick and like indoctrinates her into his little
back up, man. Are you, because you said this is how you would be if you got, so are you telling me if you got sent to another world, you'd start a fake cult?
Well, think about it, because the way it went off, the way it took off was so hilarious, because then it breathed life that both factions he created on accident became real. Like his assassin organization became this full blown thing.
What plans
that he didn't even know about
if you die and go to another world? Oh my God, man.
And I said, you know what? It makes me think of like some of the stuff I used to do in high school. Like I had
cults?
I secretly started a gang.
Wait.
It was a joke.
Wait,
I didn't think it was going to go anywhere.
What do you mean?
I started a rivalry.
A gang.
I look.
Because you're like the whitest fucking black dude I've ever met in my life.
Appearances can be deceiving. I just go and watch. It's on High Dive, The Eminence of Shadow.
I'm like, fuck that. I want more information about this high school. What did you do?
That's for
the FBI
that's for the Afterthoughts After Dark episode. If you guys want to hear about the gang that I accidentally started. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching this anime and I'm like, that's something I would do, because living in our reality, how much stuff do you typically repress that you wish you could do? Like, tell me, in a fresh world, magic, or for a sci-fi world where the only limit is now your imagination, you would not go off and try to do all the things
we're talking about somebody having power. Whether or not it's good or evil, but just having power, the ability to do something great, even if that great thing is awful. First of all, a lot of people would be a lot more fucked up than we think we would be.
Exactly.
A lot of us think
I'm
we
just
would
openly admitting that I would accidentally start a cult.
Be, good doers, but if given abilities like in these animes or like superheroes, some of us, I don't want to be around most of us when we lose our shit and blow up a city because you got a ticket or some shit, like I don't want.
Yeah. Like if I went to a different world, I would want to start like a secret organization, collecting information, having a hand in everything involved, just operating from the shadows. And because I'm the most unsuspecting individual, it would be perfect.
Did you start an 8 Fingers in high school? A shadow cult?
No, it was actually called the Black Card Gang.
Oh my God. Why?
You started a rivalry with the Snake Gang. I didn't even know that was a thing.
This was Orochimaru the leader of the other one. Like, what?
That's part of my checkered past.
Why do you have so many fucking stories that I occasionally hear bits and pieces of? This man doesn't share anything. I've known him for years, people. Years. I learn new shit all the time. Like, what do you mean you started a Orochimaru? What?
We had a Orochimaru before Orochimaru came to the U.S.
What?
Yeah. So yeah, the Eminence of Shadow, guys, go check it out. And then hit me up in Discord and guys, try to start a cult.
I need context.
So yeah, anyway, guys, that's a perfect point as any to wrap up the episode.
That's convenient.
Yeah, just conveniently out of time. Anyway, guys, please, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with your family, your friends, anyone you think would enjoy the GZ Chop Shop podcast. It really helps us out. So make sure to do that. Also, this is the first place I'm going to announce this. And I'm intentionally announcing it at the end of the episode. So for all of you who are at this point, I'm doing this so that there's no turning back. And I will announce this on a stream.
Oh, God, no.
So this is the point of no turning back. This will pop up on all the podcasts.
God. Go ahead.
Guys, I will, under some conditions.
I think you meant girls.
Everyone. To everyone. Ladies, guys, I don't judge. I will start an OnlyFans. However, I have conditions for that. So you can't go looking for me right now because it ain't happening right now. Conditions are definitely going to be that you guys help us get our podcast on the charts. And it doesn't even have to be like super high, like just in like what, top 100? I think that's reasonable. And that's just any one of the podcasts, either on Spotify.
I'm gonna sub to his OnlyFans and leak all his shit. And then he's gonna be like, "Who's leaking?" I'm like,
I will laugh if it backfires and it blows up.
I'd be so mad.
But the kind of luck that I have, that's exactly what would happen. I would go from like a handful of subscribers to, I'm now top male performer. How'd that happen?
I probably just see a picture and get mad. He's not that great.
He's not that great.
Whatever.
But yes, I will actually have a whole bunch of other lists, and basically just any one of those goals has to be met and I will start. If we knock out 2 goals, I'm sure you guys can convince me to have Warner's start his own as well.
Nope.
Guys, nope. He can be convinced. He can be convinced.
I can't.
He can be convinced. He can be convinced. If we see those numbers take off, he'll change his mind. I believe it. Don't worry, guys. He'll do it.
This show got really weird really quick.
That's why I saved it for the end. Anyway, if you guys want more information, check out the Discord. I will be posting about it in the Discord, and I will be talking about it on the stream. But this is the one place, the first place, where it's the proof. So I will not backpedal.
Nobody want to see my hairy ass.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening in. Visit our website, osn-media.com. Check out all the latest podcast episodes all in one place. Hit us up on social media and let us know your thoughts about this episode, and share it with everybody. Anyway, you guys have been amazing. Stay safe out there. Look after yourself and each other. We'll catch all you wonderful people in the next podcast. Later.